Okay, this week I got a slightly different setup, but I want to talk about pretty much pouring from an empty cup and how you can't. So here is the stuff you do to kind of fill your cup. So I'm kind of using household kitchen stuff to kind of get my point across. So like a good old measuring cup and like a good old glass bowl and everything. So the concept of pouring from an empty cup is you can't take care of people if you don't take care of yourself first. So I can't pour anything from this in order. So this is my cup in a sense that this is what I need to do to take care of myself, and then this is the people that I need to that depend on me. Now it could be your kids, your siblings, your parents, extended family, whoever. So these are the people that rely on you, and this is you. So you rely on you. I can't sit here and take care of anyone if I don't have anything in my cup. Now, well, I mean, you might argue like, oh yeah, there's fucking air in there and everything, but that's not the point. This is where doing things like going to the gym. You don't have to set PRs. You don't have to be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger or Ronnie Coleman. You don't have to be the next top power lifter. All you have to do is go in and take care of yourself in the sense of doing better than you did last year, last month, last week, yesterday. So the concept of going to the gym, of course, is just that, going to concept. But when I say go to the gym, most people think of going to like a big box gym, like a Planet Fitness or like your local YMCA. But that is ultimately just a concept, because what you can do is ultimately get like a pair of like resistance bands. I've made a ton of videos on different training aspects and everything. So resistance bands, you can get power blocks, pull-up bars, those push-up handles, whatever. It all depends on like how much you have to spend and everything. So for like instance, $100, what you could probably do to start out with is get yourself a set of resistance bands and a pull-up bar, and you're going to be able to do like a resistance band training. Plus, you're going to be able to do body weight exercises. You don't need any equipment for that. So that, in a sense, like you pretty much have your strength training set with that. Now, of course, obviously, like I said, you're not necessarily going to look like the next Arnold Schwarzenegger or Ronnie Coleman or whatever. You're not necessarily going to be setting any powerlifting record or being able to compete in a strongman competition with just body weight and like resistance bands. What you can do is you set yourself up to be better than the vast majority of people, and you can set yourself up, which is much bigger, to be better than you were previously. So obviously, if you're brand new, maybe you get yourself a pull-up bar and like some resistance bands, like I said. Get started. You can also get into like yoga, so like a resistance band, pull-up bar, a yoga mat. You can come on here onto YouTube and get like tutorials on how to use resistance band and like your pull-up bar, and you can also get into using like, in a sense, guided flows for yoga on YouTube and everything that you can follow along, pretty much free. So free yoga with the flows that you can find here on places like YouTube. Body weight exercises are pretty much free. And the great thing about not only body weight exercises but like a pull-up bar and a resistance band, you can do that at home and everything. So I know recently I've made a video where no babysitter required. All you need is like half an hour and like pretty much like a place like mine, and you can get your exercise and everything. So that's kind of like where pouring like a good old water in, and of course that's just the training aspect. You also want to make sure that you get your nutrition in check too. So this is where something like MyFitnessPal comes in handy. So now does that mean like if you have like one cheat meal a week that everything is going to be ruined? No. What you can do is set yourself up so maybe Sunday or like a Monday through Friday you are totally locked into your nutrition. Weekends, maybe what you do is like maybe you go out for brunch on Sunday, but you eat healthy foods, like you eat like the eggs and like the bacon and sausages, and you sit there with the fruit and stuff. So you eat as you're going to be eating healthier than you would if you just decided to sit at home and eat like the sugary cereals or whatever, or just like stuff a bunch of pancakes with like that the artificial maple syrup and stuff like that. And on Saturday, what you could do is like have your cheat meal where you go out to actually eat at like a dinner, maybe like for the parents out there. Maybe you're going to like a kid's baseball tournament, or maybe you're going to a wrestling meet or something. Instead of hitting up McDonald's, maybe what you do is like have your cheat meal, and you go to maybe like Five Guys would be a better option. But I'm gonna say maybe if you have the means, sit down at like a sit down restaurant. Or what you can do is like make it a family event where like you have your cheat meal at home. You're making like your own fries and your own burgers. Maybe you cut up your own potatoes and stuff like that. So you make it a family event as a dinner, like your cheat meal on Saturday. So that's like another aspect of basically filling this empty cup of yours. And of course, like I've talked about, I mentioned mobility with yoga and stuff. There's like that. You start surrounding yourself with better people as well, and then like you make sure you're getting like adequate sleep. So like for instance, like I mentioned before, you get your kids into bed at like 8:30, and then you make sure you get your workouts done in the morning before your kids get up. So you go to bed at like maybe 9:15. Another thing is like for your mental health, what you can do, like two things on your own, is meditation and journaling. And now if you do need professional help for your mental health, you're filling up this cup again with stuff like that. So now here's the concept of like filling up your cup. You're doing all the stuff that I just mentioned. You're filling up your cup with all that and everything. So now, instead of having, like I showed before, instead of having basically nothing, now you got stuff to sit here and pour in and start giving to other people. And then you continually do all the things I just mentioned, doing like strength training, cardio, of course I didn't mention cardio, but that's something else you can do for conditioning. Mobility, you get your professional health for mental health, like the meditations and journaling, you get your nutrition in check, training, all that, and then you can, every time you do it, you're filling it up. So like every day, what you're doing is filling up your cup with doing that stuff. Then you can sit here, turn around, oh hey look, now I can start helping more people. Again, next day, fill it up again. Like, okay, so I'm filling up my cup again by taking care of myself, and now I can turn around and start helping more people. So now I can the process continues. Of course, like I'm only using like a limited. I can only use a limited amount because I fit in here. But the analogy is like it's continuous. Like you just get filled back up to kind of like start the whole process again. So then you kind of like boom, you're able to sit here. And now look at how much more you're able to help people and everything just by like doing like good old training, getting your nutrition in check, working on your mobility, getting your mental health all squared away, and pretty much the whole 9 yards of like that. I just mentioned you continuously pour it in, and then you're continuously filling up your cup, so that way you can sit here and turn around and now start helping other people. So that's the concept of like kind of filling your cup first before you start helping other people. So like the analogy that like most people are probably familiar with is like when you're on a plane, you fasten your seatbelt first, or when the oxygen masks like pop down, if you're in an emergency, you put your mask on first before you help your kids. So that's why you want to fill your cup, because like now you can see again, you can't really pour from an empty cup and everything, so you really can't help people unless you help yourself first. So that's the whole concept of like pouring from an empty cup or whatever. By pouring from an empty cup, you're not only not helping yourself, but you're not helping other people as well. So that's why, like my good old like Hulk shaker cup. Think of that as like, okay, look, Hulk smash. I want to smash those like the goals of get my nutrition in check, my training in check. I want to make sure I'm working on my mobility. I want to like make sure I get my mental health in order, making sure I'm focusing on recovery, getting as good a sleep as possible, and like now of course, like I mentioned, kids and everything. Like there are some outstanding factors that like you gotta contend with. Like okay, like the time management skill that like video that I recently did. You kind of have to find creative ways to be able to get like stuff in. So maybe at work, maybe you work 8 to 5 or something, you have an hour for lunch. There's nothing that states that you can sit there and take half an hour, get a quick half hour working at work and everything. Yes, you might feel like you look kind of stupid and everything, and people look at you kind of weird. Well, screw them. They're not you. You got to get into the mindset of stop caring what other people are saying, thinking about you. Take half an hour for lunch, and if you feel kind of awkward or whatever at your desk doing stuff, maybe you can find a hiding spot in the office or wherever, or maybe you can go outside, weather permitting, find a cozy corner to hide in to be able to do that for half hour. Come back, use the last 20 minutes of your lunch hour to sit down and actually eat lunch and everything. So that's kind of a quick video or whatever on the concept of pouring from an empty cup, and otherwise you can't take care of other people if you don't take care of yourself first. So you got to fill your cup first before you fill the cups of others. Or just like the plane analogy, you got to put on your mask first before you put on masks for other people as well.